Close your eyes and forget what the world has told you about time, effort, and struggle. Let go of the noise that says you must chase, strive, and sacrifice endlessly to become rich. That is not how reality works. Not truly. Your time has come, not tomorrow, not next year, but now. The riches you seek are already yours in the invisible. They exist in the only place that truly matters, your inner world. You see, you were never meant to beg life for abundance. You were meant to command it silently through your assumption. When you walk in the feeling that you already possess millions, something begins to shift. The outer world may appear unchanged, but do not be deceived by appearances. The seed of wealth has already been planted in the invisible, and it must grow. All manifestation begins with one thing: imagination fused with belief. When you see yourself as already wealthy, when you feel the millions in your hands, when you walk through life knowing your bank account overflows, the universe begins to mirror that certainty. There is no power greater than your awareness. To dwell in the state of wealth is to make wealth inevitable. You cannot be poor in consciousness and expect to be rich in experience. You must become it first, within. So I ask you now, can you feel what it's like to never worry about money again? Can you smile knowing that your time has come and nothing can stop the flow that's already begun? Can you accept, without needing to know how or when, that the millions are yours? And if you dare to believe, if you dare to assume and dwell and rest in that knowing, then the world must conform. Doors will open, opportunities will appear, circumstances will shift, not because you fought for them, but because you became the version of yourself that already had them. This is not magic, this is law. You are not hoping for riches, you are expressing them through the identity you now wear. So speak this within: I am rich, I am wealthy, I have millions, my life is filled with abundance. Not as a wish, but as a present fact. Let the feeling take over you now. Let it consume the doubts. Replace every fear with the certainty that this moment is the beginning of your new life. The time is now. Your time has come. You will have millions. You will manifest millions. The time is now. All riches begin in the unseen. Before millions appear in your hands, they must first be claimed in the mind. Everything that is visible was once invisible. Every building, every piece of wealth, every invention, every fortune ever made began as a thought, a vision held firmly in the inner world of imagination. There is no outer success without inner conviction. What you hold in imagination with faith becomes your reality. The process of creation begins not with action, but with inner assumption. Your imagination is not a toy. It is not fantasy. It is the creative workshop of the world. It is where your future is born. The error most make is waiting to see before they believe. But the law is reversed. Believe it and you will see it, not the other way around. When you imagine having millions, truly feel it, and persist in that assumption, your outer world begins to change. You are planting seeds with every thought and watering them with every feeling. And eventually they must grow. You cannot entertain poverty in your mind and expect riches in your life. You cannot feel lack and call forth abundance. The subconscious mind does not argue or reason, it simply accepts the dominant feeling as truth. And what it accepts, it brings forth. So if you feel wealthy within, if you walk as though you already possess the millions you desire, if you speak and think and breathe from that state, the world must reflect that truth. Cannot do otherwise. People are always asking, what do I do to become rich? But the real question is, what must I believe? The actions will follow your belief. They are the shadows of your assumptions. So if you assume that you are already wealthy, you will naturally act from that place. Your behavior, your choices, your energy, They all align with the inner state. You are not trying to become rich. You are being rich. Inwardly, now. Imagination is the seed of wealth because it creates the feeling of possession, and it is feeling that manifests. A man who imagines wealth vividly and consistently, even in the face of contrary evidence, will draw to himself the exact conditions, people, and opportunities to bring it into form. The outer world is clay. It molds itself to the inner pattern. You cannot skip this step. You cannot bypass imagination and force your way to abundance. Labor without inner vision is wasted effort. Millions do not come through struggle, they come through alignment. And alignment begins with the image you hold of yourself. Do you see yourself as rich, successful, abundant, worthy, or are you still imagining from the perspective of lack? Change your inner movie. Rewrite the script. See yourself surrounded by the results you desire. Feel them. Hear the words people would say to you if you had already succeeded. See the money in your hands, the home you desire, the freedom you crave. Hold that image, not once, but again and again. Persist in it. Let it become natural. The moment you accept this inner reality as truth, the outer must mirror it. You are the source. Imagination is not just a tool, it is the power. And when it is used consciously, deliberately, with faith, it becomes the doorway to everything you desire. Millions are not outside you, they are within you, waiting for you to see them. Imagine wisely. You are already the millionaire. This truth may seem hidden by what your eyes see or what your bank account says, but appearances are deceptive. The world around you is a mirror, faithfully reflecting not what is true in the highest sense, but what you persist in believing. And if you constantly believe you are on the way to wealth, chasing it, striving toward it, you affirm by your very belief that you do not yet possess it. But the secret is this: you do not need to chase what is already yours, you need only to assume it. The moment you accept that you are already wealthy in consciousness, the world begins to rearrange itself to match your inner conviction. Assumption is not pretending, it is not wishful thinking, it is stepping into the role of the person who already has what they desire and living from that state. You must feel it real. You must carry yourself as the one who already knows that abundance is not coming, it is here. You must eat, walk, speak, and rest as one who has already received the millions. Because in the unseen realm, you have. And what exists in that invisible world, when believed in, must show itself in time. There is a vast difference between wanting wealth and being wealth. Wanting implies separation. Being implies union. When you want something, you push it away with your very desire. But when you assume the feeling of already having it, you draw it closer. The universe responds to your state, not your words. It moves to reflect the version of you that you most consistently inhabit. And if that version is rich, abundant, secure, then the circumstances that surround you must align with that reality. You are not becoming rich, you are remembering that you already are. There is a version of you now, living in opulence, flowing in financial freedom, surrounded by beauty and ease. That version exists within you. You do not need to create it. You need only to merge with it. You do this by feeling it as true, by acting from it even in the silence of your mind, by walking in the confidence of someone who knows their worth and is no longer begging life for approval or prosperity. This is the power of assumption. It is not arrogance, it is alignment. When you stop chasing, you start allowing. When you stop reaching, you begin receiving. When you stop affirming separation, you claim unity with the thing you desire. And the world, being obedient, reflects the change in you. Money is not the cause of wealth, consciousness is. Your outer riches are nothing but the shadow of your inner wealth. Begin now to affirm silently and with certainty, I am the millionaire. Not I will be, not I hope to be, but I am. Let that feeling settle deep in your body. Let it echo through your heart. Let it color every thought, every word, every step. This is not fantasy, it is law. And when you live in that assumption long enough, the world cannot help but show you what you already are. You are already the millionaire. There is nothing to chase, there is only something to accept. You do not wish your way into abundance, you assume it. You live it inwardly, and then the outer must follow. This is the law of consciousness, the sacred truth hidden behind all creation. What you hold as true within yourself becomes the world you walk through. Outer circumstances are not causes, they are effects. They are mirrors reflecting the inner convictions you carry, whether conscious or unconscious. To change the outer, you must first transform the inner. And nothing changes outwardly until it is first accepted inwardly as real. Wishing is passive. It keeps your desire at a distance. When you wish, you admit you do not yet have. You reinforce lack. But assumption is different. It is bold. It says, this is already mine. It feels the truth of the desire fulfilled and moves through life as though the manifestation were already complete. When you hold an inner conviction and you feel it as though it is already so, the world must rise up to meet that belief. The universe does not respond to what you say you want, it responds to who you are being. And who you are being is determined by what you assume to be true. If you assume you are poor, limited, or struggling, no matter how hard you work, your life will continue to echo those beliefs. But if you dare to assume you are rich, abundant, and favored, even when appearances suggest otherwise, you plant new seeds in the soil of your consciousness, and the harvest will come. It is inevitable. This inner conviction must be lived, not just spoken. You cannot simply repeat words and expect results if those words are not supported by feeling. Feeling is the secret key that unlocks the door between your inner world and the outer one. You must feel what it is like to have already received your desire, to walk in the assurance that it is already done. When you hold to that inner state, even if the world around you remains unchanged, something begins to shift. You have moved into a different vibration and reality must catch up. Do not wait for confirmation from the outside world. That is not faith. That is doubt disguised as caution. Your only responsibility is to remain faithful to your assumption. Do not look for signs. Be the sign. Do not ask when it will happen. Know it already has. The moment you claim your desire within and accept it as your reality, you set unseen forces in motion. They will bring about the people, opportunities, and conditions needed to fulfill that assumption. This is not fantasy. This is creation. You are not here to react to the world, you are here to create it. And you do so by holding firm to your inner convictions. Every great achievement began as a quiet inner knowing. Every fortune began as a decision to no longer entertain lack. So begin now. Choose the conviction that serves you. Choose to be the one who already has. Choose to walk as though your wealth, your freedom, your joy are already present. And hold that state, not for a moment, but until it becomes your natural way of being. The outer world is slow to change, but it must change. For it is only the echo of your inner self. Inner conviction creates outer circumstance. Always. The only time you can manifest is now, not tomorrow, not someday, not when the conditions seem right or the bank account changes, but now. The present moment is your point of power. It is the doorway through which all creation enters. There is no future creation. There is only the now, repeated and sustained. Whatever you plant in the present is what grows into your future. And yet, most people live outside this truth. They wait, they postpone their belief, they delay their assumption of the wish fulfilled. But the truth is, now is the only moment that creates. If you are always waiting for the right time, the right feeling, the right sign, you will wait forever. The mind will trick you into thinking the power lies ahead, somewhere just out of reach. But creation is not about conditions, it is about consciousness. And your consciousness operates only in the now. You can remember the past, you can imagine the future, but you can only create in this very moment. Whatever state you occupy now becomes your reality. Your job is not to make things happen, it is to assume that they already have, right now, within. You may look at your surroundings and say, but nothing has changed. That is irrelevant. What you see is the past in motion. Your current reality is merely a reflection of previous assumptions and old beliefs. To birth something new, you must abandon the evidence and claim the unseen. You must enter into the feeling that your desire is already yours before it appears. And you must do it now. Not when you feel worthy, not when things improve, not when you have proof. But now, this is the discipline of manifestation. To dwell in the feeling of the wish fulfilled before anything outside of you confirms it. To step into the version of yourself that already has what you desire and live from that version, not in some future moment, but in the present. When you do this, when you fully embody your desire, here and now, you shift your state of being. And that shift must be answered. The present moment holds everything you need. It holds infinite potential. You can create a new identity, a new story, a new life by deciding right now who you are. Not who you were, not who others say you are, but who you claim to be in this moment. Do not underestimate the power of that decision. All change begins with an inner movement, a choice to no longer live by old narratives. The world bends not to time, but to your assumption of self. And when that assumption becomes firm, when it is saturated with feeling, the world has no choice but to mirror it. There is no power in hoping for a better tomorrow. There is only power in assuming a better now. Do not speak of what will be, speak from what already is. Feel it now, live it now, believe it now. The present is the only place where creation lives. Everything else is illusion. You are not a victim of time, you are the master of it. And the moment you realize that everything you desire is waiting for you to claim it, not in some distant future, but right here, right now, you step into true power. Persist in the inner experience of wealth, regardless of what your eyes see, regardless of what your senses report. This is the secret known by those who shape their reality rather than react to it. The outer world is not fixed, it is fluid. It is a mirror that reflects the dominant feeling you dwell in. Not just once, not just in fleeting moments, but consistently, until that feeling hardens into fact. You are not here to observe reality as it is. You are here to mold it into what it must become, by dwelling in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Feeling is the foundation of all manifestation. Thought alone does not create. Words spoken without emotion are weak. But the feeling, the deep embodied conviction that what you desire is already yours, this is the power that reshapes your world. When you feel it real, when you close your eyes and step into the version of yourself who already possesses what you long for, you begin to align with that version. And through repetition, through persistence, through unwavering belief, that unseen state becomes your external reality. You must persist in this inner experience even when everything around you contradicts it. Especially then. You must feel wealthy when the bills pile up, when the account runs low, when the world tempts you to bow to appearances. This is the test. This is the threshold. Will you break under what seems real, or will you hold to what you know is true within? Because truth is not determined by facts. It is determined by what you dare to accept as real. And when you accept wealth within, the world must reflect wealth without. This is not about faking or forcing. It is about returning again and again to the feeling of abundance until it becomes natural, until it becomes the place you live from, not visit occasionally. Your mind may wander, doubts may arise, but your job is to return. Return to the feeling. Return to the inner scene where your desire is already complete. Repeat it with faith, with love, with gratitude, not out of desperation, but out of certainty. Because you know that the longer you dwell in that inner reality, the more powerful it becomes, until it solidifies into fact. Reality is slow to catch up, but it always does. It cannot resist the one who persists. Most people give up too soon. They test the waters of imagination and then retreat at the first sign of contradiction. But you must go deeper. You must make the inner world more real than the outer. You must trust that the unseen is more powerful than the seen. This is where true creation happens, not by force, but by faithful feeling. So feel it, not later, now. Feel the joy of wealth, feel the security, feel the ease. Let it flood your heart, let it lift your posture, let it inform your decisions. Live from that state, and do not waver, even when the world says otherwise. Because your feeling is the root, and your world is the fruit. Persist in the inner experience until it hardens into fact, and it will. For reality is always bending to the dominant feeling you refuse to let go of. You do not become wealthy by merely working harder. You become wealthy by assuming that you already are. It is not effort alone that brings riches. It is identity. Who are you within yourself? What do you believe about your place in the world? What do you claim as yours before the world confirms it? The one who assumes the state of wealth and remains in that assumption will inevitably see the world rise to match it. What you assume long enough, you become. Most people believe they must wait for conditions to change before they can feel successful, secure, or abundant. But this is the reverse of truth. The law of creation works from the inside out. You must first feel wealthy within, regardless of appearances, and hold to that feeling until it impresses itself upon your reality. Your outer life is nothing more than the mirror of your inner state. If you assume poverty, if you identify with lack, struggle, or insufficiency, then no matter how much you do, the results will return to match your belief. But if you dare to assume wealth, even when the world gives you no reason to, that assumption begins to shape your thoughts, your actions, your decisions, and your reality bends in response. Assumption is not daydreaming, it is not pretending, it is belief in motion. It is choosing again and again to identify with the version of yourself who already possesses what you once only desired. It is moving from wishing to being. When you assume wealth, you begin to carry yourself differently. You speak from a new level of confidence. You feel secure. You think clearly. You are no longer desperate, no longer hoping. You know. You have accepted it as real. And this knowing transforms your entire energy field. It draws in the people, situations, and opportunities that reflect the inner state you hold. But assumption requires persistence. It is not a one-time event. It must be lived, breathed, carried like a deep knowing that no outer evidence can shake. At first, it may feel false. You may find it difficult to believe what your senses deny. But if you remain faithful, if you continue to walk in that state, something remarkable happens. It becomes you. What was once an imagined scene becomes a lived reality. The line between assumption and fact blurs and then disappears. This is how you shift your destiny, not by begging, not by chasing, but by becoming. What you assume, you fuse with. And once fused, it cannot be denied you. Life becomes the expression of your inner stance. And just as the actor eventually becomes the role through repetition and commitment, so too do you become the wealth you have dared to assume. So begin now. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready. Step into the identity of one who already has. Ask yourself, how would I think if I had it? How would I feel? What would I do? And then live from that place. Repeat it. Embody it. Let that version of yourself become the dominant presence within you. And soon, the world will echo back the truth you've held all along. What you assume long enough, you become. This is the secret. This is the law. You now know the truth. Your time has come. Not tomorrow, not one day, now. The power to manifest millions, to live in wealth, to become all that your heart dares to imagine lies within you. Not in effort alone, not in what the world tells you is possible, but in what you boldly assume to be true. You are not waiting on life. Life is waiting on you to awaken, to feel it real, and to persist in that inner conviction until your reality reflects it. You are already the millionaire. You are already the one who lives in abundance. Let go of the struggle. Stop trying to make it happen with force. Walk as though it's already yours. Let the feeling of wealth become your home. Let the present moment be your point of creation. Assume it, feel it, be it, and watch as the world rearranges itself around your belief. Thank you for listening. Thank you for daring to believe in your own power. Thank you for choosing this moment, your moment, to claim what has always been yours. Stay faithful to your vision. Persist in the assumption. And remember, you do not need to chase millions. You only need to become the version of yourself who already has them. The time is now, and you are ready. Close your eyes, not to escape the world, but to enter the only world that ever truly mattered, your inner reality. This is not a game of chance. This is a 48-hour challenge of certainty. You are not asking life for something, you are declaring what already is. You are stepping into the scene that you choose to live in. This is not about hoping, it is about knowing. Take the desire that's been stirring within you. Hold it clearly in your mind. Now imagine, right now, that it's already done. The money is in your account. The message has been received. The healing has occurred. The opportunity has opened. Don't just visualize it, enter it. Feel the relief. Feel the satisfaction. Feel the joy that can only come when something is real. In this 48-hour window, you are not to beg, plead, or wait. You are to become. You are to walk in faith, act in alignment, and rest in the truth that what you have assumed as real must now be made visible. Your job is not to chase it, your job is to accept it. You do this not with words, but with feeling, with stillness, with a deep inner knowing. You live as though the thing desired has already happened. You speak only from the end. You act only from the end. You move through life in these 48 hours as someone who has, not someone who wants. And as you persist in that state, without wavering, without checking, without doubting, the outer world will reconfigure itself to match your inner conviction. Watch closely in the next 48 hours. People will say things you imagined. Emails will arrive. Conversations will shift. Money will appear. Things will happen that make no logical sense and yet will feel perfectly natural to the one who believed first. The bridge of incidents is already forming. Your work is not to push, your work is to trust. Life is not happening to you, it is happening through you. This is the challenge. For 48 hours, refuse to doubt. Refuse to entertain anything but the truth of your desire fulfilled. You are not hoping, you are knowing. You are not trying, you are resting. You are not waiting, you are receiving. Imagination is not just a tool, it is the very essence of creation. Everything you now call real began first as an unseen thought, a mental image, a silent vision held within the invisible chamber of the mind. It is there within your imagination that the entire world is born. People often underestimate the force of their inner world, treating imagination as something for artists or dreamers. But in truth, it is the seedbed of reality. The outer world is merely a reflection, a mirror of the images you consistently entertain within yourself. You cannot encounter anything in the external world that you have not first made room for internally. To imagine with feeling is to plant the seeds of experience. The moment you emotionally accept something as true, your world begins rearranging itself to reflect that assumption. What you feel to be true, even if it is not yet visible, becomes the framework from which your reality is built. And just as a shadow cannot detach itself from the form that casts it, your life cannot detach itself from the beliefs you hold within. This is not a matter of idle daydreaming or fantasy. It requires conscious attention when you deliberately choose the state you wish to occupy, when you see yourself already in possession of the desire and you feel that scene as if it were real. You are invoking the highest law in existence, and that law is always responding. It never sleeps. It never forgets. It only reflects. The world responds not to what you want, but to who you are being in imagination. If you see yourself as lacking, even if you pray or hope for abundance, you will only continue to reproduce lack. But if you see yourself in imagination as already wealthy, already loved, already whole, and you accept that vision with conviction, the universe bends to that inner truth. It may come through unexpected ways, through people you didn't anticipate, or through sudden changes that defy logic, but it must come. This is the mystery, that the unseen is more real than the seen. That the moment you accept a new state of being within, reality must follow. You do not need to struggle, strive, or manipulate. You only need to feel the state natural to you and live from that place. Imagination fused with feeling becomes belief, and belief is the foundation of all that you experience. Do not wait for evidence. Do not wait for the outer world to give you permission. It is not the cause, it is the effect. You are the cause. You, the one imagining, the one believing, the one feeling the end from within. That is the divine power placed in your hands. Guard your imagination as the sacred center of your world. For whatever you see and accept within, when it is felt deeply enough, must become flesh. It is law. To assume the wish is fulfilled is to abandon all questions, all doubts, and all appearances that contradict your desire. It is to mentally and emotionally occupy the state where your wish is not a hope, not a dream, but a present reality. This is the secret, not merely to receiving what you desire, but to becoming it. Desire is not something to be chased. It is something to be embodied. When you assume the wish fulfilled, you no longer speak of it as something far off or unavailable. You speak, think, and feel from the experience of it already being yours. This is not about pretending or fooling yourself. It is about understanding the laws of consciousness. Your outer world is a mirror that reflects your inner state. If you constantly dwell in the feeling of wanting, then wanting is what will be prolonged. But the moment you shift into the feeling of having, everything begins to move. You enter into alignment with a version of yourself who already has the thing desired. And once you persist in that inner knowing, the world cannot help but reflect it back to you. To live from the end is to walk by inner vision, not by physical sight. It is to allow the inner scene, crafted in imagination and accepted as true, to become more vivid and more important than anything the outer world may suggest. This requires discipline of thought and feeling. It requires you to let go of checking, doubting, waiting, and needing. You no longer ask, when will it happen? Because in your world it already has. You no longer look for signs of change, because your inner world is the change. The joy you feel when something arrives in the physical world must first be felt within. That feeling is the magnet, the signal, the confirmation that you are one with your desire, and once that emotional alignment is stable, the manifestation is inevitable. It may come in surprising ways, through a chain of seemingly random events, but it will come. Because the feeling of the wish fulfilled is not just a mood, it is a creative act. This is why you must be selective with your inner conversations. You must dwell only in the atmosphere of your fulfilled desire. Every time you return to that inner state, you are watering the seed of your manifestation. And eventually, without force or struggle, it blossoms into form. Fuming the wish fulfilled is not a one-time practice. It is a state of being. It becomes your natural dwelling place, your emotional home. You carry it with you in every step, every word, every thought. And in doing so, you collapse the illusion of separation between you and your desire. You become it. You are it. And what you are must eventually be made visible. This is the great mystery, the great power, to feel the end as real and to rest in its certainty, even before the world gives you proof. The proof will come, but it will follow your assumption, not precede it. Time, as most understand it, is a measurement of delay. It is the space between desire and fulfillment. But in the realm of true creation, time holds no power. It bends to the quality of belief. When faith is absolute, when it is undivided, unshaken, and pure, the outer world responds with speed, with precision, and with clarity. It is not that the world is slow to respond, but that our belief is often hesitant, split, or incomplete. The law of creation does not delay. It waits only for you to fully accept what is already yours. When belief is complete, a shift occurs not in the world, but in you. And that inner shift is everything. It is the collapsing of doubt. It is the silencing of the question, how? It is the moment when you no longer reach for your desire because you know it has already been claimed, already been planted, already unfolding beneath the surface. From that inner conviction, the bridge of incidents begins to form. Events, people, conversations, and coincidences that lead you directly to the fulfillment of what you have imagined. These bridges are not random. They are perfectly orchestrated, though the mind cannot always predict the pattern. But rest assured, the moment belief becomes pure, untainted by fear, urgency, or contradiction, these bridges move into action. It is not your effort that builds them, it is your state of consciousness. And when your inner state is fixed, when your assumption is stable, the law responds quickly. Time does not create. Time only reveals what belief has already made real. The delay you perceive is not the universe withholding. It is your own uncertainty vibrating into form. And the moment you release that uncertainty, the moment you rest fully in the knowing that it is already done, everything accelerates. Time becomes irrelevant because fulfillment is felt now. This is why faith is the master key. Not blind hope, not desperate longing, but complete inner certainty. A deep, unwavering trust in the unseen. When you live from that place, you do not need signs. You do not need to monitor or control the unfolding. You understand that it is already set in motion, and you walk in peace. The law does not operate in chaos. It is precise, exact, mathematical. It moves according to belief, and when belief is complete, so is the manifestation. It may take a day, a week, or a moment, but once the inner state is solidified, the rest is just unfolding. So let go of watching the clock. Stop measuring the distance. Release the need to make it happen. Enter the end in consciousness and stay there. Let the feeling of completion be your anchor. And from that place, let the law do what it always does. Respond to your belief, swiftly and faithfully. Because when faith is absolute, time is no longer a barrier. It becomes the servant of your vision. The greatest hindrance to manifestation is the need to know how it will happen. The logical mind insists on controlling the steps, charting the path, manipulating the unfolding. But creation does not work that way. The mind was never meant to determine the method, only to accept the end. Your responsibility is not to figure out the route, but to faithfully dwell in the destination. When you detach from the how and remain loyal to the what, you align yourself with the creative power that knows more than the intellect ever could. The path is never revealed from the beginning. It unfolds as you remain steady in your assumption of the end fulfilled. And the more you insist on figuring out the how, the more you introduce doubt. Why? Because the moment you say it has to happen this way, you limit the infinite intelligence that surrounds you. You reduce the vast and miraculous to something small and narrow. You attempt to control what is already under perfect control. The truth is, the how is not yours to manage. It is not your burden to carry. The bridge of incidents, the unseen series of events that lead you from where you are to where you desire to be, will form naturally. It may come through ways you never imagined. It may seem irrational, even impossible to the logical mind. But that is the nature of the creative law. It works beyond the reach of your current understanding. So what must you do? You must become obsessed not with the method, but with the end result. You must see it, feel it, and know it to be real within you now. Not in some distant future, but here, in the present moment. This is not wishful thinking. This is the act of creation. When you become loyal to the end, so loyal that you refuse to entertain anything contrary, your world begins to change. The unseen forces that shape reality move in response to your inner conviction. As you remain faithful to your vision, people, places, opportunities, and changes begin to appear. The puzzle assembles itself without your effort, and your only task is to maintain the inner atmosphere of already having. That is your offering. That is your part. Doubt enters when you begin to think it's your job to make it happen. You do not have to make it happen. You only have to let it happen by believing it already has. Your confidence in the unseen determines how swiftly the seen adjusts. Let the feeling of the wish fulfilled dominate your mind, and the details will take care of themselves. Stay loyal to the what. Refuse to be swayed by appearances. Let the outer world be what it is. It is temporary and always moving. Your job is to remain anchored in the end. And if you do that, the how will reveal itself, step by step, without strain or confusion, because when you live in the end, the means must find you. You are always in conversation with yourself. Every thought, every silent word, every image you hold carries power. It is not idle chatter, it is creation. Your inner conversations shape the outer circumstances of your life. And so, if you wish to create what you truly desire, You must dwell only on that. You must make your mind a sacred space, reserved not for worry, not for fear, not for replaying past pain or predicting future lack, but for the fulfilled vision of what you want. Most people believe they are thinking from free will, yet they are ruled by habit, by repetition, by inherited stories of limitation. And these stories, repeated often enough, become beliefs. Beliefs create patterns, patterns shape outcomes. If you continue to entertain thoughts of what if it doesn't happen, or why is it taking so long, you reinforce delay. You feed the very lack you are trying to escape. So you must become deliberate. You must become the gatekeeper of your mind. Every time a thought arises that contradicts your desire, you must notice it, not with fear, but with firmness, and gently replace it. Speak only that which confirms your dream. Think only in alignment with the life you've already claimed within. If you desire love, speak as if love is already yours. If you desire wealth, think as one who lives in abundance. If you desire healing, affirm your wholeness. You must feel the truth of these things, even when the world tells you otherwise. This is not denial of reality, it is selection of a higher reality. You are not ignoring facts. You are choosing which facts to feed. And what you feed grows. You cannot dwell on doubt and expect confidence. You cannot dwell on failure and expect success. You cannot dwell on sickness and expect health. You must align your inner dialogue with your desired outcome, completely and consistently. This requires awareness. Most inner conversations are unconscious, shaped by yesterday's fears. But when you become conscious of what you say to yourself, you gain back your power. You begin to see how every word is a seed, and every feeling is the water that makes it grow. So you become selective. You begin to live from the end, speaking and thinking only as one who already possesses what they once desired. This is the key to transformation, inner fidelity, to stay loyal to the vision within you, to say no to every whisper of fear or delay, and to say yes again and again to the truth of your imagined outcome. You do not argue with the old story. You simply stop feeding it. And over time, as you continue to affirm and assume the new, your world reshapes itself accordingly. Your life is echoing what you dwell on. So dwell only on what you want. Let your inner world become a garden of certainty, joy, and completion, and from that inner state, your outer life will bloom in perfect reflection. In the noise of the world, the mind becomes scattered. Thoughts rush, emotions flare, and the soul is pulled in 1,000 directions. In this state, creation is clouded. Manifestation becomes effortful, uncertain, even frustrating. But when you enter stillness, true inner stillness, you step into the secret chamber where all things are made. It is not in striving or grasping, but in quiet surrender that the seed of desire is planted in fertile ground. Stillness is not emptiness. It is fullness without movement. It is peace that holds power. In the stillness of your inner being, you are closest to the creative force that responds not to noise, but to clarity. When you quiet the external chatter and silence the internal dialogue, you become receptive. You become open to guidance, to insight, and most importantly, to the impression of your fulfilled desire. This stillness is the secret door because it bypasses logic, it dissolves resistance. It allows the assumption of the wish fulfilled to take root, not as a fleeting thought, but as a deep knowing. When the mind is silent, you no longer plead for what you want, you receive it, you feel it, you become it. In this sacred silence, you no longer imagine you are lacking, because in stillness there is no lack, there is only being. The world around you may still appear unchanged, but you know better. For in that still, quiet moment, something real has shifted. A seed has been placed in consciousness. And just as no farmer doubts the growth of a planted seed, you rest in faith. You do not disturb the soil with anxious thought. You do not rush about trying to force growth. You trust in what you cannot yet see because you have felt it within. The world reshapes itself in response to this still conviction. It may not move as your mind expects. The changes may appear subtle at first, but the law is exact. What you accept in stillness must appear in form, not because you fought for it, but because you surrendered into it. You accepted it as already true. So when doubt comes, return to stillness. When fear rises, do not fight it. Fall silent, let the noise pass like a cloud, let the breath bring you back. Sit quietly and remember the feeling of already having. That feeling is the portal. That silence is the bridge. Stillness is not weakness. It is the birthplace of power. It is in silence that God speaks. It is in quiet that the unseen begins to shape the seen. You are not forgotten in stillness. You are remembered. You are not doing nothing. You are doing the most powerful thing you can, aligning yourself with the truth of who you are and what you desire. So step away from the noise, close the door, be still, and know in that sacred space that your word is heard, your vision is planted, and your world is already in motion. And now, beloveds, you see the truth. Creation is not a matter of effort, but of assumption. It is not in trying harder, but in surrendering deeper. Within you lies the only power that shapes the world around you. Your imagination, when filled with feeling and conviction, becomes the mold through which your entire reality is cast. You have been given the map to see only what you want, to feel as though it's already yours, to release the need to know how, to remain faithful in silence, and to walk with unwavering trust. These are not mere ideas. They are eternal laws. They are the keys to manifesting your desire within 48 hours or even sooner, if your faith is complete and your inner world remains loyal to the end you have claimed. This is not magic, it is law. And the law never fails. So now the challenge is not whether it will come. The only question is, will you dare to believe? Will you dare to dwell in the state of the wish fulfilled, to speak only of its reality, to see no contradiction, to live from the end? Thank you for walking this path. Thank you for choosing stillness over struggle, clarity over confusion, and faith over fear. You are not alone on this journey. The power within you is eternal, infinite, and faithful. Now go and assume boldly the world is already bending in your favor. Thank you. Sit still and hear this truth. When you take a pen and write what you desire, you are doing far more than scribbling words. You are declaring reality. You are speaking not to the air, but to the very soul of the universe, and it listens. Writing is not a mere act of communication, it is a sacred act of creation. It is you saying, "This is mine. This is real. This is done." Most people think manifestation is about waiting, watching, wishing. But listen carefully, creation does not come from wishing. It comes from assuming. And there is no purer assumption than the one you etch with your hand. For when you write a thing down, you declare it with intention. And what is intention but the seed of reality? The universe responds not to your desperation, but to your conviction. And writing is conviction on paper. Something heals a business. You write it down, something begins, the scene remains unchanged for now, but the unseen shifts. Invisible gears begin to turn. Paths open where there were walls. People feel the pull without knowing why. Circumstances bend. Why? Because you wrote it. What you write becomes law in your world. Not because ink holds power, but because consciousness does. And when consciousness flows through your pen, it manifests into form. Write not as a beggar hoping for mercy. Write as a creator, knowing your word shall not return void. Do not write what you fear. Do not write what you lack. Write what is done. Write what is yours. Write the scene you wish to live in. Describe it. Feel it. Own it. And if doubt comes, write again. For repetition is the mother of belief. And what you repeatedly write, you soon believe. And what you believe, you become. You are not asking the universe, you are instructing it. You are not pleading, you are planting. Your words are seeds. The page is the soil. And your emotion is the water. Watch it grow. Watch it come. Because it must. Write as if it's already so. And then walk in that truth. When you write something down, you are not merely putting ink to paper or tapping characters into a screen. You are choosing. You are declaring. This is no idle action. It is the quiet moment where the soul rises and says, "It is done." To write with intention is to assume the reality of what you desire, not someday, not maybe, but now, in this moment, as truth. It is the most powerful form of self-communication, for it bypasses the chatter of the outer world and speaks directly to the inner world. Most live in the world of hoping something will happen, wishing for better days, waiting for someone or something outside of them to shift. But those who understand the secret know, hope is weak compared to assumption. Assumption is certainty without evidence. It is the quiet knowing that what you claim inwardly must unfold outwardly. And writing is the physical expression of that assumption. It is saying to yourself, to your subconscious, to the entire universe, this is my reality. Why does this matter? Because your subconscious does not argue. It accepts. It believes what it is consistently told, especially when those messages are wrapped in emotion and repetition. And when you write something down, especially in the language of the present, in the tone of finality, you are impressing the subconscious with a command. You are handing it a blueprint and saying, build this. Whether you write, I am now living in complete abundance, or my body is whole and full of energy, you are giving your mind a story to believe in. And once believed, the world around you must reflect it. Think of writing as planting. Each word is a seed, the paper is the soil. But unlike a garden where you wait for the rain, here you create the rain by your emotional involvement. Feel it as you write. Feel the truth of it, not as something far away, but as something alive and already here. That feeling is the water that brings your desire to life. Without the feeling, it's dry, it's theory. But with it, it becomes a living assumption, a vibration, a truth. This is not make-believe. This is not fantasy. This is alignment. You are aligning your inner world to what you wish to see in the outer. And once the inner world is aligned, the outer must bow to it. This is law. The law does not respond to fear, to begging, or to desperation. It responds to confidence, to belief, and to clarity. When you write with the energy of "it is done," you activate this law. But here is the key. You must believe as you write. You must suspend doubt, even just for a moment. The pen becomes your scepter, and the page becomes your kingdom. What you decree in faith, you shall rule over. You do not write to make it happen. You write because it is happening. Writing is not asking, it is assuming. And that assumption, once impressed deeply enough into your mind, must externalize. That's the secret most overlooked. Your world is a mirror. And when the inner says yes, the outer must reflect yes. So do not write in hope. Write in power. Write as one who knows their word creates worlds, because it does. The moment your words hit the paper, something unseen begins to shift. You may not feel it immediately. There may be no thunder, no flash of light, but something profound has occurred. A command has been issued. A signal has been sent into the field of infinite possibility. What you write, if written with belief and intention, is not just a thought captured, it is a decree. It is law spoken into motion. The pen in your hand is not just a tool. It is a wand, a scepter. It governs the unseen world and tells the visible world what must now become. The written word holds power because it is anchored in the present. Unlike fleeting thoughts or spoken wishes that dissolve in the air, writing stays. It holds its shape, it repeats its message. Every time you see it, every time you read it again, it is solid, structured consciousness. A vibration frozen in form. And vibration is the language of the universe. Everything responds to frequency. And when you write, your words carry the weight of your intention. They become a vibrational imprint that echoes into the world around you. Many speak of manifestation, of attraction, of bending reality, but so few understand the authority carried by the written word. The universe is not responding to idle chatter or hopeful thinking. It responds to conviction. It responds to clarity. When you write something down, especially in the language of the present, I am, I have, I feel, you are commanding an outcome. This is why journaling your desires, scripting your ideal reality, or affirming through writing can be so effective. It is not superstition. It is not about ink and paper. It is about resonance. When you write something with focus, with belief, with emotion, that sentence becomes a pulse, a code sent out to the universal intelligence, and because the universe does not question your authority, because it reflects your inner world, it begins to organize itself around what you have declared. But this power does not come from writing just once in passing. It comes from presence, from faith, from writing as a conscious act of creation. The power lies not in the act alone, but in the awareness behind the act. When you sit down to write, pause, breathe, feel the truth of what you are about to claim. Let your entire being align with it. Then write, not as someone wishing, but as someone stating. Think of the ancient kings who spoke and it was done. The pen in your hand makes you that king or queen over your own world. You do not write to try. You write to command. You write to set into motion a new pattern of being. You write because your words, once written with conviction, cannot be ignored. They must take form. So do not take this lightly. Do not write carelessly or in doubt. Every word written with feeling carries a signature, and that signature calls forth experience. Write what you desire as though it is already so, and return to those words daily. Feel them, believe them, live them. Because once written with truth, the universe will not deny you. It will obey. Imagination is the beginning of all creation. Every structure you see, every invention you use, every life you admire began as a thought, an unseen image held in someone's mind. But thought alone is fleeting. It passes, it shifts, it dances like mist in the air, until it is anchored, and writing is that anchor. It is the sacred bridge between the unseen and the seen. The moment you write down your desire, you are giving form to what was once only vapor. You are shaping the invisible into something tangible. This is no small act. It is the first step of embodiment. When you take a desire from your mind and put it into words, you are making it real. You are saying, this exists, this has taken shape. No longer is it simply floating in the world of abstract imagination. Now it has form, letter, structure, intention. This is the beginning of manifestation. Writing is the first physical expression of what you want. It is a blueprint, a sketch on the canvas of reality. You may not see the full painting yet, but the lines are drawn. The image is in motion. Most people don't realize that writing is more than recording thoughts. It is shaping them. When you write, you slow down enough to bring your scattered thoughts into focus. The fog of emotion and daydream becomes a clear path, and clarity is power. The universe does not move on vague longings. It moves on precise direction. Writing gives that direction. It says, "This is what I see. This is what I claim." It defines the dream. And what is defined can be built. Think of a builder. He may have a vision in his mind, but until it is on paper, it cannot be shared, shaped, or constructed. The drawing must come first. Your words are that drawing. They tell the universe how to respond, how to align, how to construct. The clearer and more vivid the writing, the more solid the foundation. You are telling the field of reality, "This is what I desire, this is the structure, now make it." Writing also commits you. When you write it down, you are not simply entertaining a fantasy, you are choosing a path. You are saying, "This is important to me, this is part of my life." And that level of commitment carries energy. It feeds the desire, it keeps it alive, focused, breathing. Without it, desires fade, they lose shape. But written words endure. They remind you, they redirect you, they pull you back to the center of your vision when the world tries to scatter you. This is the true power of writing. It brings the dream down from the clouds and places it into your hands. It gives it shape. It gives it form. And once something has form, it can grow. It can evolve. It can become. So do not underestimate this sacred act. Write your desire, describe it, feel it, make it real through your words, for once it is written, it has begun. And what has begun, in truth, must find its way into reality. You have pulled it from the invisible. Now watch as it begins to take root and rise. Writing is more than an exercise, it is a revelation. It reveals the depth of your desire, the exact shape of your intention. When you begin to write, you are forced to face your thoughts. What was once foggy begins to sharpen. What felt overwhelming begins to organize itself. Writing demands that you become precise. You cannot write clearly about something you do not truly understand. In this way, writing forces clarity, and clarity is power. The universe does not move on confusion. It does not respond to indecision. It listens to vibration, to energy, to focus. A vague thought has weak vibration. It wavers, it hesitates, it contradicts itself. But a clear intention carries strength. It sends out a steady frequency, one that does not falter. And when you write with clarity, when your words are clean and purposeful, that frequency becomes a signal. The universe hears it. More importantly, it obeys it. If you were to enter a restaurant and say, "I want something," the server would be lost. You could be brought anything or nothing at all. But if you clearly state, "I want a warm bowl of vegetable soup with fresh herbs," there is no confusion. You have named it, you have claimed it, and now it can be prepared. The universe is the same. Vague desires create vague outcomes. But when you write with detail and certainty, you are placing an order with life itself. And life will serve what is clearly requested. Writing brings structure to emotion. It carves direction out of chaos. When you sit down to write your desire, you are not only shaping your outer request, you are shaping your inner belief. The more clearly you write what you want, the more clearly you begin to see it. And the more you see it, the more real it becomes in your mind. This inner reality is where creation begins. Once it becomes real to you on the inside, the outside must follow. Clarity is also an act of trust. When you are vague, it often means you are unsure, afraid, or doubtful. You fear being disappointed, so you keep your request broad. But when you are clear, you are saying, "I believe this is possible. I believe I can have it." That boldness carries weight. It tells the universe that you are ready, that you have chosen. And choosing is how creation begins. This is why you must write with intention. Do not just write what sounds good. Write what you truly want. Describe it fully. Use your senses. How does it feel, smell, look, sound, taste? Make it vivid, make it alive, because the clearer you are, the more real it becomes to your subconscious. And your subconscious is the key to manifestation. There is no power in confusion, but there is great power in clarity. So let writing be your guide. Let it help you uncover what you truly want. Do not fear being specific. Specificity is not limitation. It is focus. It is direction. It is the spark that ignites manifestation. What you define clearly, life will define clearly for you. Your pen, your words, your vision, they shape your world. Let them be clear. Let them be bold. Let them speak loudly to the universe. And watch what answers. The power of the written word is not in the ink nor in the paper. It is in what happens within you every time your eyes meet those words again. Repetition of what is written rewires the mind. It reshapes the inner landscape. And since the outer world is nothing but a mirror of the inner, any shift within will be reflected without. This is the great secret. When you change what is happening inside, your world cannot help but obey. When you write a desire, it may feel foreign. It may even feel false. The mind will argue. The old beliefs will rise. Doubt will try to reclaim its territory. But do not let this deter you. That reaction is proof that something is moving, that the old structure is trembling. Keep writing. Keep repeating. For repetition is the language of the subconscious, and the subconscious does not resist repetition. It absorbs it. With each repetition of your written desire, you are planting a seed. And like all seeds, it requires nourishment, attention, faith, and time. The first time you write, "I am successful," your mind may whisper, "No, you're not." But by the 50th time, that whisper grows quieter. By the 100th, it begins to echo your new truth. Eventually, there comes a moment when you write it, and it feels natural. It feels familiar. It feels true. That is the moment of transformation. When the inner has accepted it as real, the outer must follow. This is not magic, it is law. Your mind is the master architect of your experience. Whatever it accepts as true becomes the blueprint for your reality. Writing is the tool by which you submit new blueprints. If you do not rewrite the inner dialogue, the outer scene remains the same. But once the new script is repeated, read, and believed, the play must change. The actors must shift. The scenes must evolve. Life must mirror your inner convictions. This is why you must write deliberately. Write as though what you declare is already so. Write it in the present tense, not as something you hope for, but as something that is. I am wealthy. I am loved. I am at peace. Let these phrases become familiar terrain for your mind. Let them overwrite the old story. Your subconscious is always listening, always recording. The words you repeat are the thoughts it adopts. Make your writing a daily practice, not once or twice, but continuously, until your inner world is saturated with the feeling of your desire already fulfilled. This is how belief is born, not through effort, but through persistence. And once belief takes root, reality is quick to follow. This truth, as within, so without. If you can get the inner world to agree, the outer world has no choice. Reality is an echo. It does not lead, it follows. The words you write, repeated with emotion and conviction, are instructions to your deeper self. And your deeper self is the creator of all you see. So write not to wish, but to transform. Write until your soul recognizes the words as its own. until doubt dissolves and truth stands firm, until your mind no longer questions but accepts. And then, watch as your life begins to match the script you wrote. The world will not resist what you have already claimed within. It will simply reflect it faithfully, powerfully, and perfectly. To write something down is to make a quiet but undeniable declaration, I believe. You may not shout it aloud, you may not parade it before others, but when you take the time to write your desire, you are not merely hoping, it is an act of knowing. You do not write what you question, you write what you expect. The pen does not beg, it commands. Writing is not an act of doubt, it is not a plea, it is a claim. It is a silent yet powerful affirmation that what you desire is already yours. Writing separates the wavering from the certain. Thought alone can drift. It can tangle with fear, conflict, and distraction, but when a desire is put to paper, it is anchored, it is chosen, it is given shape. And in that shape, belief finds its form. You are saying to the universe, this is who I am, this is what is mine. I do not wish for it, I do not hope for it, I accept it. This is where the unseen begins to take shape. The universe does not operate by words alone, but by energy, by the certainty behind the words. And when you write with conviction, your energy becomes clear, it becomes focused, it becomes undeniable. The written word, fueled by belief, becomes a vibrational instruction. And the universe, which always responds to inner conviction, begins to rearrange itself to match what you have affirmed. You see, you may speak a desire aloud and still doubt it, but you rarely write what you truly disbelieve. Writing requires intention, it requires presence, and with that presence comes power. When you write, I am abundant, you are not testing the idea, you are stepping into it, you are wearing it, you are imprinting it on the canvas of reality. This is not just a sentence, it is an act of embodiment. The more you write it, the more you believe it, and the more you believe it, the faster it manifests. Writing is sacred because it connects the mind and the body. It is a physical act fueled by spiritual intent. You feel the pen, you see the words, you reread them and they echo back to you. Every repetition deepens the groove of belief within you. It is like carving a new path in your consciousness. Eventually that path becomes a highway and everything in your world begins to travel along it. This is why you must not write from desperation. Do not write as one who is waiting to be chosen. Write as one who has already chosen, who has already received. Speak not to get, but to affirm what is already within reach. The universe is not persuaded by pleading, it is moved by knowing. And written knowing is a powerful force. Let your journal be your altar. Let each word you write be an offering of faith. Even if the world says no, your written word says yes, and that is enough. Because once you say yes within, once you declare it with clarity and feeling, the universe has no choice but to obey. To write is to believe. To write is to command. And to write is to receive. So pick up your pen not as a seeker, but as a creator. Write not as one who waits, but as one who knows. And in that knowing, everything begins to move. In closing, understand this. The simple act of writing down your desires is one of the most powerful tools you possess. It is not mere wishful thinking or idle hope. It is a deliberate, confident declaration to the universe that you believe what you want is already yours. Writing transforms thoughts into commands, feelings into facts, and dreams into reality. Through clarity, repetition, and conviction, you reprogram your inner world so your outer world must follow. Trust in this process. Embrace the power of your written word, for it is the key that unlocks the door to your manifested life. Thank you for allowing me to share this truth with you today. May your pen always be guided by faith, your words be filled with certainty, and your manifestations come swiftly and abundantly. There is a grand illusion most have accepted, that the universe is a separate entity, a vast and indifferent mechanism spinning beyond our grasp. But listen closely, for I tell you a deeper truth. The universe is not out there. It is within you. It is not something you must chase, worship, or manipulate. It is something you must awaken to within your own mind. You were never meant to be a beggar of circumstances, hoping the stars would favor you. You are the source. You are the center. The entire drama of your life plays out upon the screen of your consciousness, and your assumptions, your deep, quiet convictions, write the script. Most people speak of the universe as if it were an outer power, judging, rewarding, or punishing. But the real seat of power lies in your own awareness. What you are conscious of being, that is what the universe reflects back to you. If you feel poor, the world will echo poverty. If you feel unworthy, it will close its doors. If you feel favored, blessed, chosen, so shall it be. This is not philosophy. This is law. And the law works whether you know it or not. You are not a spectator in this life. You are the creator. Each day you are painting the canvas of your reality with the brush of imagination. Every feeling you dwell in, every belief you water with attention, becomes the harvest you reap. So stop searching the skies. Look within. The moment you adjust your inner world, your outer world must follow. Like a mirror that does not argue, the universe reflects what you present to it, not what you wish, but what you accept as true. And here's the mystery. It doesn't take years. The change happens in an instant, the moment you shift your assumption. The outer results may take time to arrange themselves, but the command is executed the moment you believe. If you believe that the universe must test you, it will. If you believe that blessings come slowly, they shall. But if you dwell in the feeling that all things are already yours, you will find the world reconfiguring itself to match that assumption. You don't get what you want, you get what you are. So become it. In silence, become the thing you long for. In stillness, assume it already done. There is no outer power denying you, only your own resistance, your own doubt, your own forgetfulness. Remember, the universe is not your master. It is your mirror. And the moment you stop looking outward for change and instead go inward to claim your power, everything begins to respond. You are not waiting on the universe. The universe is waiting on you. You are not at the mercy of fate, luck, or chance. These are illusions accepted by those who have forgotten their true nature. You were never meant to live reactively, simply responding to life circumstances. You were meant to create, to command, and the tool with which you do so is imagination. Imagination is not fantasy. It is not mere daydreaming. It is the very blueprint of your reality. It is the workshop of creation, where you, the true self, shape the unseen and call it into being. Everything you see around you, every structure, every invention, every relationship, every movement, began as a thought held long enough, felt deeply enough to become form. Most people think that to change their life, they must first change the world. They struggle, they strive, they act frantically, hoping their efforts will bend the world to their will. But the one who understands the law of consciousness knows the truth. It is not action that changes reality. It is imagination. When you imagine something clearly, not with strain, but with the feeling that it is already so. You impress that idea upon the infinite intelligence that surrounds and fills you. The moment you do this, a chain of unseen events begins. Doors you did not knock on begin to open. People you've never met begin to move. Circumstances arrange themselves not through effort, but through alignment. Imagination does not wait for permission. It does not ask for evidence. It simply creates, silently and surely. The key is not to imagine once and then doubt. The key is to live in the state of the wish fulfilled, to make your inner world so real, so alive, that the outer world has no choice but to reflect it. This is not pretending, this is choosing. Choosing to believe in what you've conceived within, even before the senses confirm it. Your senses are servants, not masters. They report to the mind, and your mind reports to your imagination. When you reverse this order, when you allow the world to dictate your imagination, you live in bondage. But when you allow your imagination to dictate your world, you walk in freedom. Imagination is the bridge between your desire and its manifestation. It is the language the universe understands. Not words, not actions, but images clothed in feeling. So imagine what you love. Imagine who you want to be. And then walk in that state as if it were already true. The world may resist at first. Let it. It has no choice but to yield. The most powerful people are not the loudest. They are the ones who sit in silence and reimagine reality from within. They are the ones who close their eyes and see beyond what is. They command, not through force, but through knowing. So remember this. Your imagination is sacred. Use it wisely, use it boldly, and the universe will obey. For imagination is not only your power, it is your birthright. It is not enough to simply wish. It is not enough to merely think positively. The true key, the forgotten key, is feeling. Thought alone is like a letter never sent. It is the feeling behind the thought that gives it life, that sends it into the world to return with results. Feeling is the signal. Feeling is the frequency. The universe does not respond to your words, your affirmations, or your efforts. It responds to your state of being. And your state of being is defined by what you feel to be true. You may say, I want to be wealthy. But if deep inside you feel worry, lack, or fear, that is the real message. And that message is what is answered. You may say, I am loved. But if in the silence of your own mind you feel unwanted or forgotten, that is the signal you send. Do you understand the power you hold? You are not a victim of what is. You are the source of what will be. And the secret lies in this. Feel it real. Not tomorrow, not when it shows up, but now, in this moment. Sit quietly and feel what it would be like if your desire were already fulfilled. Not how it will happen, that is not your concern. Just feel the relief, the joy, the security, the peace, the gratitude. Live in that mood, and you create a mold into which the universe must pour its substance. Emotion is not weakness, it is instruction. It teaches the universe what you believe, what you accept, and what you're ready to receive. So when you feel fear, pause. Don't suppress it, observe it, and then choose again. Choose to feel the end. Choose to dwell in the atmosphere of your answered prayer. Do not force it. Do not fake it. Instead, gently bring your attention to the state you desire and allow yourself to relax into it. The more real you feel it to be, the more real it becomes. Not because something magical happens, but because you are shifting into a version of yourself who already has it. And once you make that internal shift, the external world has no choice but to mirror it. This is not a matter of time, it's a matter of alignment. When you live in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are not hoping, you are knowing. And the universe bends to that knowing. People call it coincidence, luck, fate, but you will know the truth. It was the feeling that did it. So stop asking, when will it happen? Ask instead, can I feel it now? Because the moment you do, the moment you genuinely dwell in the reality of your fulfilled desire, the universe says yes. And when it says yes, it moves mountains, silently, swiftly, perfectly. Because the universe does not hear what you say, it only echoes what you feel. The great secret is this: you must become inwardly the version of yourself that already has what you desire. You must assume it is already done, not tomorrow, not when circumstances look right. Now, because assumption is not fantasy, it is creation. The moment you assume something as real, you step into alignment with the version of yourself where it already exists. And the universe, which is nothing more than your externalized consciousness, begins to reflect that version back to you. You are not convincing the world. You are convincing yourself. The world has no power of its own. It simply follows the pattern of your inner state. What you assume to be true, whether good or bad, becomes the structure your life is built upon. Assume wealth, and opportunities begin to emerge. Assume love, and connection finds you. Assume freedom, and your limitations begin to dissolve. But what do most people do? They wait. They say, when I see the result, then I'll believe. And so they wait forever, because belief is the cause, not the result. Faith is the bridge, not the reward. You must first become it in feeling, in thought, in being. Only then can it become visible. When you assume it is already done, you stop needing, you stop yearning, you stop chasing. And in that peace, in that stillness, your energy changes. You no longer send out signals of desperation, you send out signals of certainty. And certainty is magnetic. You see, the universe does not respond to begging, it responds to being. To assume is to embody. It is to walk, speak, and move in the world as if your desire has already materialized. Not with arrogance, but with inner knowing. A quiet confidence that says, it is mine, even if I cannot yet touch it. You may say, but what if I'm wrong? And I say, what if you're right? Your life is already shaped by assumptions. Every day you assume things without proof. About people, about money, about health, about your worth. And those assumptions form the boundaries of your experience. So why not assume something bold, something beautiful, something divine? Assume the best. Assume that all things are working together for your good. Assume that the delay is not denial but preparation. Assume that the door has already opened, even if you can't yet see it. This is not about pretending. This is about becoming. Becoming the person who already has what you've asked for. And once you do, the world rearranges itself in response. So don't wait for signs, be the sign. Don't wait for evidence, be the evidence. Because the moment you assume, truly assume, that it is already done, the world outside may show chaos, contradiction, and delay, but the world within holds the seed of your becoming. And it is to this inner vision you must stay true, no matter what appears to stand in the way. Understand this: the outer world is always a delayed reflection of the inner world. What you see now is the echo of what you once believed. If you try to change the mirror, you will fail, but if you change your inner image, Your assumptions, your emotions, your convictions, the mirror must follow. It is law. Yet most people surrender their vision the moment reality disagrees. They plant the seed of their dream, but when the rain comes, when life tests them, they dig it up in doubt. They say, it's not working, I don't see results. And so the seed dies, not because it lacked power, but because it lacked faith. Your job is not to make things happen. Your job is to see them happening within, to persist in that seeing, to dwell in the end, to remain loyal to your unseen reality, even while the outer world shows the opposite. Loyalty is not passive, loyalty is power. It is the unwavering refusal to allow what is seen to shake what is known. It is the quiet decision that says, even if no one believes, I believe. Even if nothing around me changes yet, I remain true to the vision I have accepted as mine. The inner vision must become more real to you than the facts of life. You must feel it, speak it, walk in it, until your world has no choice but to yield. It cannot resist a mind that is faithful to its inner blueprint. This is not wishful thinking. This is divine authority. You are not hoping for something to happen. You are holding the image of what already is in the unseen and giving it time to take form. And yes, the test will come. People may mock you. Circumstances may seem to regress, fear may whisper, doubt may knock, but if you remain loyal, not for a moment, not for a day, but as a way of life, you will bend reality. It is written in the laws of spirit, the external must conform to the internal, not sometimes, always. So when the world shakes, hold firm. When the vision dims, close your eyes and see it again. When time delays, deepen your certainty, because the dream is not out there, it is within you, asking to be believed. And the moment you choose to stay loyal to it against all odds, above all fears, you have already won. For he or she who holds the vision longer than the world can distract them is the one who shapes the world. Once you have seen it in your mind, once you have felt it real in your heart, once you have assumed it to be done, release it. Leave it to the invisible forces that govern the scene. Let go of the how. Let go of the when. Your only job is the what, and that you have already completed by imagining it into being. The universe does not respond to pressure, it responds to faith. And faith is silent. Faith is still. Faith does not chase, does not question, and does not beg. It surrenders, not in weakness, but in supreme confidence that what has been claimed within must, by law, appear without. Think of the farmer. He plants the seed in the soil and walks away. He does not dig it up the next day to see if it has sprouted. He does not panic when the field looks empty. He knows the process. He trusts the unseen work beneath the surface. And so must you. The more you interfere with the process, the more you slow it down. When you constantly ask, where is it? You are no longer in the state of the wish fulfilled. You are in the state of lack. When you worry about the method, you imply you do not trust the source. And the universe, always obedient, reflects that state back to you. To let go does not mean to stop caring. It means you stop controlling. It means you release the need to manage, manipulate, or demand. You have made your claim. Now rest, not in passivity, but in power. Trust the invisible, for it is the womb of all that is visible. Every mountain, every city, every empire, all began in the unseen. What you cannot yet see is not void. It is active, alive, in motion. But only when you stop holding it hostage with your fear. Walk as though it's already yours. Smile without reason. Speak with the calm of someone who knows a secret because you do. You know that the real world is within and it has already been settled there. That is enough. The winds will blow, appearances will test you. But if you remain anchored in trust, quiet, calm, and unmoved, you will watch reality bend in your favor without force. Let go, not because you're giving up, but because you're stepping aside to allow the greater power to do what you cannot. What you plant in faith must bloom in form. And when you feel the urge to meddle, pause, breathe, and remember the universe does not need your interference. It only needs your surrender. So now you know the universe does not live outside of you, it lives within you. It moves by your direction. It responds to your state of being, not your words, not your effort, not your struggle. You are not here to chase anything. You are here to assume, to feel, to trust, and to let go. Imagination is your sacred command. Feeling is the signal. Assumption is the foundation. Loyalty is your discipline. Surrender is your strength. Whatever you desire already exists, not in the distant future, but in the invisible now. The only distance between you and what you want is your refusal to believe it is already yours. Make no mistake, this world will bend to match your vision the moment you stop bending to match the world. So walk forward not as someone hoping, but as someone knowing. Knowing that your inner world is more real than anything you can see with your eyes. Knowing that you are the cause, never the effect. Trust the unseen. Speak from fulfillment. Feel it real. And above all, remain loyal to the version of you who already has it. Because once you do, the universe has no choice but to serve you. Thank you for listening, thank you for believing, and thank you for daring to create from within. The power is already yours.